out what is the City of Toronto is all about. This election is about leadership. So I'm very, very pleased to join Mayor Tory and your entire team to be here because for the first time, we have a mayor that puts Scarborough in the map. And for the first time, we're going to build a gate that recognizes the contribution of Scarborough contribution to this great city. And this gate, well, not just about the economic engine, we all get about the economic piece. It's about tourism, it's about culture, it's about history. It's about history. What have the Chinese community contributed to the city? And Mr. Mayor, thank you for your announcement today, because at the end of the day, I always believe leadership does matter. And I'm going to encourage everybody, if you're a Canadian citizen, you have a responsibility on October the 22nd to vote. And vote early. Don't vote on October 22nd. There's a advance poll coming. And so it's very, very important for each one of you to take that civic responsibility to make a difference, to vote for the right candidate that have share, but more importantly, listen to your concerns. So thank you, Mr. Mayor, for putting Scarborough on the Toronto map. Thank you.
Now we will take questions.
Now, if there are questions that people in the media have for me, I am more than happy to try to answer.
Does anyone have any questions? Okay.
Okay, I just want to ask you, what is your thinking or further action after today's court decision about the number of city council?
Well, the court today, for those who don't know, the court today granted a stay to the provincial government, which means that the effect of the court decision reached earlier on is put in suspension, as it were. And so I believe, while the clerk will announce herself what the effect of this is, I believe the effect is, and I haven't had a chance to read all the material because I was here with you, I believe the effect will be to see an election run on October the 22nd that has 25 council seats plus the mayor. To me, the most important thing about this is we have a degree of certainty now as to what will happen in the next 35 or 40 days. But I will say, all of this was very unnecessary. I from day one, indicated this process was wrong, that there should have been consultation with the people of Toronto about their city council, that it should never have happened in the middle of an election campaign, and that was something that was a very bad precedent. And that when later it looked like the notwithstanding clause of the Constitution was going to have to be invoked to effectively abridge people's rights, take away their rights in this instance, I thought that was wrong as well. None of this had to happen. I think had we decided we were going to sit down and deal with this issue as we deal with other issues in a thoughtful, consultative, collaborative way, as we have to do on transit and on housing and on community safety and other issues, we'd be in a much different place today. But I think the court case now will permit an election to proceed on October the 22nd, and it'll be for 25 councillors, and it will be for 25 councillors plus a mayor. And there will be further proceedings because we want to make sure that we register our very profound disagreement with this process and with elements of this process and with the fact that there had already been a process employed by the City of Toronto that produced 47 councillors and a mayor, and that was tampered with in the middle of an election campaign. And I think it's important, as a matter even of discussing precedent and how things should not happen going forward, that we should continue with those different proceedings, notwithstanding that the election will happen.
Thank you, Mayor.
Anyone else?
Mr. Tory, regarding that question to you, are you going to do anything else for this election for the government?
Do anything else during this election? In what regard did you say?
To keep it at 47, or are you going to stick to 25?
Well, I think what happens now, given that we're 33 days away from the election, is that the stay of the court decision means the law originally passed, which they called Bill 5, actually is in effect. And so, subject to my being advised otherwise when I go downtown after this, I think that means an election will proceed on October 22nd for 25 councillors plus a mayor. And I think that the City Council has instructed at the same time, however, that further court proceedings, and of course the appeal itself is actually going to happen, but just not right now. So the appeal will go forward. We will continue to be a party to that appeal. and we will continue to challenge, and we gave instructions again to our city solicitor to look for means by which we can express our profound objection and concern to the use of the notwithstanding clause, because we feel that whatever the clause actually says, that there was a mistake made here in terms of the fact it was used or thought to be used at all. And so we want to make sure that for the future, and in the present set of circumstances, that we continue to register our very strongly held view that this was wrong. This was the wrong way to do this. It was wrong, it is wrong, and it will be wrong. But for the moment, we have at least a greater degree of certainty about the election that will take place on October the 22nd.
Any more questions?
She had her hand up.
Oh, hi. So I want to know the gate we built in Scarborough. So do you know where's the location?
No, I think what's important with these things is that the community tell us where they think the gate should be, and by that I mean the community as a whole, led by Chinese Canadians and by people who are interested, but also by the rest of the community as well, because it is our city collectively. We all live here together. So it was discussed in the next room that we would actually form some sort of a group that can advise us on the location. Obviously the city will have some views on that as well from the standpoint of planning and other things. So we will do that. I think it is clearer where the location is proposed for downtown, and we can take the work that has been done that Han Dong referred to over the last couple of years and try to move that work forward more quickly now. But I think in both cases it will be a community-led exercise. What I've said is I'm going to be at that table providing my own leadership. I'll give you an example of where I've been able to help do this. For many years the Ukrainian community wanted to have a monument to something called the Holodomor, which was a terrible tragedy that happened in their country many years ago. And for years and years they had been spinning their wheels, if I can use that expression, trying to find a location. And the city was pledged to help find a location, and then the community itself said it would build the monument. It had been going on for years. I took an interest in it and said I was going to provide leadership in making sure we settled the question of where it would be. And with the community, and by that I mean not just the Ukrainian community, but the entire community, we settled on a place everybody was happy with. It's on a piece of land right outside of the exhibition place downtown. And today, that monument is under construction, and it will be unveiled in the month of October. And so I hope we'll have the same experience here, where because I'm sitting at the table as the mayor, committed to making this happen and to move it forward and to get to yes, we will successfully find a location in Scarborough, led by the community, and we will then get it approved, and we will do the same thing in downtown, where I think there's been more work done on a location, but my job will be to help then to get it approved, and then with the community we will get both of these gates built, so that people can celebrate Chinese Canadian culture, can celebrate Chinese Canadian enterprise and business, can come as tourists, and can get to know more about each other in the most diverse city in the world, all of which are very important to me.
Excuse me, where's the money come from?
Well, the money will come from a partnership. Again, you know, a lot of these things are going to be financed by the community, but we will sit down and have to work that out. A large part of what you have to do with these projects is determine what it is, you know, how big is it and all that sort of thing, where it's going to go, who belongs to the land and so on, get the approvals and organize the financing. And so I haven't as yet, because I haven't been as personally involved as I will be now. I'm not familiar with all of the requirements that will go with, because a lot of them depend on the answers to the previous questions. Where is it going to be, how big is it going to be, and all that sort of thing. But I can just tell you that knowing that it's true, that the financing for this will come in a partnership of a lot of different people who I hope are very committed to making sure that this actually happens.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Maybe one last
One
question.
more. If there's one more, I'll take one more, and then we'll have to thank
We will
you.
do the signing ceremony. And
Okay.
Okay,
Thank you very much.
thank you. John, I want to thank you. This is, of course, great news, but I think more importantly, what's more important is what happened next door. You know, we had an opportunity to have direct conversation with leaders of Chinese community, and you've said that you're going to do this regularly afterwards, you know, and have a few times a year. This is all very exciting. I think, you know, you've done a great job in terms of implement the plan and investment on affordable housing, on transit. I think that what the city needs right now is a set of steady hand to execute these plans. You know, and The other thing is, I think what the city needs is someone who can bring members of council together and work with different levels of government to secure funding and support. You know, it might be money, it might be other type of legislation support. That's going to be beneficial to the city. And I think you are the perfect candidate to be the mayor for the next 4 years. And therefore, I throw my support, and I invite all leaders here today to join me to sign your sign as a symbol of support. So, I'm going to sign right here.
We'll get you another sign, Michael, not a problem.